So on my channel, I give you guys a variety of different topics related to community college. Sometimes the topics I talk about are high school topics, but most of them are stuff related to community college. So when you're attending community college or when you're about to attend a community college, that's usually the type of advice that I give you. But since I started this channel about a year ago, or I'd say like 2 years ago, some of the guys and girls who've watched my stuff when I first started out, they've actually transferred to four-year universities, which is great. And the ones who did transfer to a four-year now have different questions related to school and university life. Before it was questions regarding to community college, and now it's questions related to four-year universities since they made it. And for those of you guys who've transferred or about to transfer to a four-year, one of the biggest questions that I've been getting is how difficult was it for me to make friends my first year at USC. So for those of you guys who don't know, I was a junior transfer. I went to community college for 2 years. I could have probably transferred in one, but I didn't want to risk it. I want to fulfill every single thing possible for me to maximize my chances to get into USC. So I get the acceptance letter, I do all my housing stuff, and I'm finally at USC. Was it hard for me to make friends? Honestly, for me, it wasn't bad at all. It wasn't too bad. My roommates, I lived with 3 other guys, so 4 including myself. It was 2 people in each room. There were 2 bedrooms, 2 people each. 3 dudes I've never known in my life. 3 dudes who are completely random to me. But in fact, those 3 guys knew each other beforehand because they went to a different school together before transferring to USC. We were all transfers. But luckily, my direct roommate, the guy I roomed with, we clicked immediately. I mean, we had the same interests, same hobbies. He liked basketball, I liked basketball. He liked music, I liked music. So we basically had very similar interests, and I in fact roomed with him my entire USC career. We're still friends to this day. I hit him up occasionally, he hits me up occasionally. It's the type of friendship where I know it will last forever, you know. The other 2 roommates I had who lived in the other room, I was also very chill with them. Actually, my first semester at USC, since I didn't know much, you know, and they knew a lot more people than me because a lot of the guys who transferred, they went to like some college in Paris. I think it was like some Paris program where you attend school in Paris for a year, and then if you do well, you can transfer to USC. Like, I didn't even know this program existed. But a good amount of people who lived on my floor did that program, this Paris program, so that's how they all knew each other. So my first semester, you know, I'd go to a lot of parties, like probably twice a week. You know, Friday, Saturday. Since they knew everyone, and since my roommates knew more people than me, you know, I just followed them to the parties, and there I met new people. And basically, that's how my journey started in terms of making friends, meeting new people. Another thing that now looking back was a blessing and something very good for me was the floor that I lived in, my specific floor. There were like 4 floors or 3 floors. My floor were all transfer students, either sophomore transfers or junior transfers. So we were all in the same boat. You know, we all were new to USC. We were all transfer students. We didn't know anything. We didn't know anybody. So, you know, when I would walk back to my apartment and, you know, I see my neighbors, you know, we just talk. And then from there, you know, that's when the friendship started. You know, we would hang out. I would go to their place. They would come to mine. We did a lot of stuff together that I don't know if I should mention in this video. But for me, it was a very easy experience. It was a very smooth transition. I wouldn't say it was completely smooth. Obviously, you know, there were things that I had to figure out, things I didn't know too much about, but I'd say overall, the process of making friends it just came very naturally to me. In fact, after my first year of living in that apartment and moving out to a different apartment near USC, those were the majority of the guys I hung out with. The guys and girls that I've met on my floor or on my housing, Troy Hall, if you guys know where that is. Those are the dudes that I hung out with my entire college career, for the most part. Obviously, I made some friends in class. I made some friends in my fraternity. So now looking back, making friends, it wasn't bad at all. And this is coming from a guy who's pretty picky when it comes to hanging out with people. You know, obviously, the more the merrier. But for me, if I'm hanging out with someone and I feel like I'm not really getting much out of the relationship, and vice versa. You know, for me, it's not really worth, you know, keeping up. So, you know, if I'm at a party or something or at an event and I just don't feel like it's a good use of my time, I would just leave. I would never force myself to be in, you know, a friendship or a club or an event that I don't want to be in. So it was a natural process to me. But I'd say it all depends on the individual. And I think another underrated part is where you're housed at. I know some of my friends at USC, they were in a building or a housing complex that were full of, to them, antisocial and weird people. But for me, my place I lived in was chill, dude. It was really chill. So I don't know if I was lucky. I don't know if that was a normal experience, but I'd say that if you're now at a university, at a four-year university, and you want to meet new people, you want to make new friends, the only way to do it is to put yourself out there. If you want to make new friends, but you're always just inside your dorm, you're always in your room, just on your computer, not really talking to others, not really wanting to interact with others, then you're not going to make friends, you're not going to meet new people. It's just as simple as that. Because you got to think about it on the flip side. It's not just you who transferred, there's other transfers too, and I'm sure that the other transfers also wants to make new friends as well. If the other transfer students just staying at home and you're just staying at home and you guys never meet each other, then you guys aren't going to make friends. Very simple. But if you come out, and if he comes out or she comes out to events or whatever, to parties, that's how relationships are born. That's how friendships are born. So that's my experience of making friends. The social circle at USC. To me, it was very chill, and I think I was very blessed, and maybe it won't be the same for you guys, but the common theme is to put yourself out there. Don't be shy, and I'm sure that the friend making process will be smooth.